Welcome to the Random Shots Shot Show Special. I'm Eben.
I'm Craig, and together we are Craig's Gun Channel's Random Shots. So welcome to Craig's Gun Channel. This is Random Shots. In this episode, we're basically going to not be quite so random. As everyone probably watching this already knows, SHOT Show 2023 just wrapped up. And I viewed all the new stuff that's been announced, all the stuff coming out, found the ones that I was most interested in, and thought we'd go ahead and share those and talk about them a bit. Eben has kind of looked at them over a little bit, so I'd be interested to get his feedback as well to see if I've just lost my mind or not. But we'll find out. So I guess we'll start off. FN Herstal came out with two new pistols. They've got the FN 510 Tactical and the FN 545. And as you might be able to denote, the 510 is in 10 millimeter, and the 545 is in 45 ACP. So basically, it's the same styling as their 509 series that's been out for a while. They've just decided to up the ante and up caliber it. So
I see this as FN is pretty established in the 9mm world. And is this, correct me if I'm wrong, is this them diving into the up-and-coming 10mm playing field? Is that where we're going with this?
I think so. I mean, honestly, FN, they just want to make sure that they stay relevant, and there's been a resurgence in 45 ACP. 45 there for a while, the whole 9mm 45 wars and stuff.
Right.
45 was starting to fall out of favor, and this has been several years ago. And now there's a resurgence. People really like the idea of 45. There for a long time, part of it was cost. It costs like significantly more to go shoot a 45.
Well, it's still almost twice, isn't it?
Well, it's still quite a bit more, but now that when you're making the choice of more expensive or expensive, it's not as bad as cheap versus expensive.
Yep.
So, and then a lot of people, the 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter power, it's a high pressure cartridge. You really get some oomph out of it. So overall, I think it's kind of cool. Got some pictures here looking at it. Styling wise, I like them.
Yes, I do too.
They comes in FDE or black. Of course, has the optics mount, suppressor height sights. Let's see, what do we got here?
Dumb question, is the extended mag, is that actually the same shape as the handle? Extended,
it is, yes. It is shaped a little bit like that, so it comes out.
Yeah.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
So they give you the option of flush and an extended mag? Is that what?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, there'll be various options. Of course, in some states, you'll have to get the...
California.
Well, since this is a new pistol, the people in California won't be able to play. Because it doesn't have all the new technology that California insists that new pistols have. So they're only allowed to have whatever was in place when they put that law in effect in 2004, 2005, something like that.
Yep. I don't live there, so I don't care.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. But just some quick statistics. The 510 Tactical, of course 10 millimeter auto, double action only, striker fired, comes in at 32 ounces, 4.71 inch barrel, 6 inch overall length, 6 inch height, 1.45 inches wide, trigger pull of 4.5 to 6.7 pounds, which that's kind of a wide window. Suppressor height, Trijicon 3-dot night sights.
And that comes with the package.
That's all the package.
Nice.
All the 545 is in 45 ACP. There again, double action only. It's 31 ounces, so 1 ounce less. So. Otherwise, basically the same. 4.71 inch barrel, 6 inches long, 6 inches high, 1.45. They're the same pistol. Just one's chambered in 45, one's in 10 millimeter. So overall.
So for noobs such as myself,
yes.
Give us a ballistics comparison, just a quick one between the 45 and 10.
I'll be honest, that's not something I'd really want to give just a off the cuff answer.
Okay.
10 is significantly more powerful. It's much higher pressure.
Sonic versus subsonic.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Type of deal.
Yeah, because the 10 millimeter, it's actually, you're basically got a 45 size bullet going at 9 millimeter speeds. whereas a
That's a good
45
way of
is
explaining it too.
yeah,
Here we
so,
go.
so overall, pretty cool. I don't have a price on it. I couldn't find one. So it's FN, so it's going to be expensive.
Absolutely. Put it on the wish list.
So go on to the next one here. So POF USA. They've came out with kind of a neat one.
This is my winner for your setup here. I like this gun.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's called the Tombstone, and it's kind of like a steampunk western.
Yes.
I mean, it's a lever action, magazine fed, 9mm rifle. It looks cool.
It looks badass. I love it.
I mean, I've seen some lever actions before where they've tried to tactical a lever action, put some rails on it and stuff. And most of them have, quite honestly, I thought looked kind of
Look goofy. Yeah.
This, I just like the looks of it. It's got a futuristic look and a retro look all at once. The interesting thing, well, first let me get some details. It's
Chambered in 9, right?
yeah, 9mm. Overall length is 36 inches. Lightweight, 5.75 pounds unloaded. The trigger is a proprietary non-adjustable design, not unusual for like a lever action there because there's a lot going on in there. It's got a smooth pull and a crisp break of 3.5 pounds, so it's going to be a really nice trigger too. 16.5-inch free-floating 4150 steel barrel, 10.5-inch modular receiver rail, M-lock slots at the 369.
Wow.
And a 2-inch pick rail at the 12 o'clock position. Integrated ghost ring sights and a removable dual port muzzle brake. I just think it's cool.
How does the 9mm cartridge perform in a 16-inch barrel?
It picks up quite a bit of velocity. Actually, a 9mm, by the time you're shoving it down a 16-inch barrel, you're hitting 357 speeds.
Okay.
So I mean, it's got some serious oomph to it, and there again, it's just cool. Now the downside, got to be one. MSRP is $1,962. And an FDE, you have to tack on a little bit more for $2,097.
Wow. And magazine capacity was?
Magazine capacity is a 20-round standard magazine.
Okay.
So,
I like it. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty cool. I think it's neat. I also think it's fairly pricey.
Yeah.
So,
it's going to be for those of you that have disposable cash in like that steampunk western. I think that's a perfect way of putting it.
Yep.
That's exactly what it looks like.
I mean, now as far as practical use,
No.
yeah, I'm kind of with you. Could you use it for like home defense? Could. Probably wouldn't be my first choice.
I see it as a ranch gun for that guy that doesn't want to carry the Henry anymore, wants something a little bit more flashy.
A little bit more.
Carry that in the saddle, rounding up the cows.
Yep.
Or just looking cool to your friend. I don't know.
Well, and that definitely, I think that's honestly where
we're
it's
going to
at.
have to get one of these, and we're going to have to do a range day on it. We're going to have to.
Yeah, we'll have to try to get one. It's just, there again, it's pricey.
Yes, it is.
Alrighty, so moving on. A conglomeration between Magpul and Zev Industries. Now, this has been a long time in the making.
I find that interesting. That's pretty cool.
So they created a partnership. Just so you know, I've got it in here. Maybe I didn't put it in here. Several years ago, like a decade ago, Magpul kind of brought this concept out and got everyone all excited at SHOT Show, and is so frequently the case at SHOT Show, then proceeded to never deliver on anything. It was just a concept. But then they've now partnered with Zev Technologies to create a flashlight. No, not really.
That's what it looks like.
It's what it looks like, and when it was originally developed, that's kind of what it was kind of going for.
Flashlight and a weather radio.
Yes, we got flashlight and weather radio, and at the flip of a wrist, it's also a carbine. So
it's pretty cool.
It is. It's really cool. It's got that James Bondish vibe to it. It's just there again. I don't know how useful this would really be for anything. Now, it does come in two versions. So you've got the with a stock, So it would be an NFA item. You'd have to get the paperwork, pay the tax, ask Mother May I,
Yep.
you know, do the whole AFT song and dance, and then see, you know, what's out. But then they also are making one that just has like a sling swivel on the back, so it just makes it a longer length, you know, pistol. It's not a stabilizing brace. They're not even going down playing that game, especially these days.
Yet.
So yeah, depending on what happens, I could see maybe them changing that. This, I believe, is actually going to come to market. They're actually, you know, wanting to move forward with this. There again, practical use. Honestly, I don't see one.
It's interesting. I don't know that I've seen too many with a Picatinny rail in the underside of the handle grip.
Yep.
You see that?
Yeah, and
That's unique.
I imagine it's to go with that flashlight theme. You could like undermount a stream light, you know, hanging upside down.
Still have sight vision.
So you still have sight vision underneath that way to work just like a flashlight. You could hold the handle and actually toggle the switch with your thumb. And quite honestly, 10 years ago, 20 years ago for sure, 10 years ago, kind of pushing the envelope when they came out with the concept. If you would have walked around with something like that with a flashlight, no one would have even batted an eye. These days, if you walk around with something like that, it doesn't look like a flashlight anymore.
Right.
You know, flashlights aren't that big anymore. So, as far as, you know, covert operation, it's just not there anymore. This is just there again for the person who just bought the you know, steampunk western lever rifle. This is your flashlight to go with it.
I like it.
So
Combo.
no price on it as of yet. So it'd be interesting to see you know, how this comes out and see if it really ends up truly coming out. They might do some more market research on this and decide, you know,
Not worth putting.
it's not worth putting it in production.
It's probably not on my list. I'll be honest.
It wouldn't be on mine. I think it's neat, but
Very unique.
you know, these days concealed carry, you know, carry a flashlight in your concealed carry, you're good to go. There's not really a reason for this to exist anymore, but I don't know. So we'll go ahead and move on to Savage Industries. And Savage, for those of you who don't remember, they've gotten back into the pistol game. Well, I think it was last year, actually, when they came out. Now they're getting into the .45 ACP game.
1911 style.
Yep, 1911s. Forged stainless steel frame and slide, 5-inch stainless steel barrel, machined with from billet, 11-degree target crown.
Guns.
They are.
Those are good-looking guns.
Dual recoil spring, fully machined seared hammer, flared lowered ejection port, nitride-coated titanium fire pin, Novak low-mount adjustable tritium bar rear sights, and Mega Glow dome front sights. Ambidextrous slide lock safety. Their VZ G10 grips. I mean, they're a nice-looking gun. It come out in typical fashion anymore. They're coming out with a new gun, and they're blasting it out with a bunch of different finishes. So you can get black nitride stainless, you can get two-tones. They've got with rails, without rails. But other than that, they're, you know, .45 ACP.
I like that black nitride. That's a sharp-looking.
Yeah, it is. They're a nice-looking gun. Price-wise, for a .45, not for a 1911, not horrible. The MSRP ranges from $1,350 to $1,500, which puts it into kind of, I would call, the upper tier of 1911s.
For sure.
So I would honestly, I would need to shoot one before I would say it's worth that.
Right.
From appearance perspective, they're a nice-looking gun.
They are. Agreed. I've always thought of Savage as being the kind of in the mid-range. I mean, and everything I've ever been exposed to has been, you know, they're everything from the 22 to the Savage 220 shotgun.
Yep.
And they're very good quality for an affordable price, but it's always been in that middle.
Yep, and
middle range to middle low even.
Yeah,
so.
I would agree with that. And even their first go around on their pistol, I think it was the MC2, something like that. Same type of thing, kind of a working man's gun. I think they're trying to dip their feet into deeper waters. I mean, because $1,400, that is not the working man's gun. These are high-priced guns.
Flashy.
They're flashy. But, you know, there again, yeah, honestly, it's hard to go wrong with a 1911.
Savage has a good history, good reputation. I think it's probably going to pan out that these are probably worth their money. I think so.
Yep, I believe you're probably right. There again, I'd like to get my hands on one of these, so we'll see what comes over
Savage,
the next year.
If you're listening,
yep,
we're here for you.
So moving on, IWI, Israeli Weapon Industries. They always come out with neat stuff. It's usually pricey, but it's always neat. And in this case, they're coming out with what they call the Carmel rifle. Semi-automatic, short-stroke, gas piston rifle. According to their write-up here, it's made from superior steel. So anyway, aviation-grade aluminum, high-strength impact modified polymers, locking rotating bolt system. So fully ambidextrous, can be easily customized with M-lock rails at the 3, 6, and 9 positions. Short-stroke gas piston, 2-position gas regulator, so it's for regular or suppressed use. Cold hammer forged, chrome-lined, free-floating barrel. Hard anodized monolithic, that's a hard word for me to say, aluminum mill standard rail, M-lock accessory rails, designed for minimum operator and armor level maintenance. And well, any of these type of platforms are usually fairly low maintenance. The body's built with high strength impact modified polymers. Uses NATO mill standard 556 steel, aluminum, or polymer magazines. Side folding stock, variable length of pull and comb height. Can be fired while folded, so you don't have that buffer tube thing to get in the way. Enlarged trigger guard for glove use, and 3-point sling attachments, QD or cord. So I think that is a sharp looking rifle.
Agreed. Give us the price tag.
Price tag, $17.99. So pricey, but I think for what you're getting, it's probably not that bad of a deal.
No, it is a sharp looking gun. A couple of the stats you said in there with the expanded trigger guard for glove operator. That's a good one. I'm interested from the picture. I can't see how the folding stock is going to allow you to shoot it with when it's folded over top of the ejector. But maybe I'm not seeing. Am I seeing something wrong here? If that folds over the ejector, you're going to have trouble.
No, I don't think. I think when it's folded, it's probably not going to cover it up completely. But there again, it looks like if you extend that all the way out and then fold it over, it might block it some. I think what their main point is, though, is it can be fired while folded, so you don't have to fully deploy the stock to put it into action if you really needed to.
That's fair.
Now, quite honestly, it is a rifle, so it's intended to fold that back and use it like a rifle. But if you were, if you had to press it into immediate action, you're able to do so.
I gotcha.
So
fair.
So overall, it's pretty cool.
Yep. Good
so moving on to Zenk. Okay, so we went Western steampunk.
Yeah.
Then we went to high-end 45s. What I'll call a high-end military style. Now we're going to go to Zenk Industries. I don't know what to really call this, but I'll just lay it out there. It's a bullpup revolver, and
I can't wait to hear this one.
It's just bizarre.
I'm confused.
So they tout it as being excellent for concealed carry, and that's because it's kind of hard to tell. The entire top of the revolver is hinged, and you lift that up, and that has the cylinder in it. So the cylinder is fully enclosed, which is a cool concept.
Okay.
So when it's all closed up, the only opening into the gun is the barrel where the the bullet comes out. So for a concealed carry perspective, that makes sense. Other than that, it gets all weird. It has a really high bore axis height.
So it along this line right above the Zenk insignia, it flips open.
Yep. That line that goes across there, that entire thing hinges open.
That is cool.
It's a neat idea, but it's rated for 38 special or 357, 4.75-inch barrel. It's going to come in various finishes with an optional laser available for purchase with it. It's double action only because there's no hammer to cock it back. It's all closed up in there. Here's the interesting part, though. They were at SHOT Show with this, talking about it, touting it, and everything. And I'd heard about this before, but it's more. They had kind of announced the idea that was out there. Well, at SHOT Show, they had an actual 3D printed plastic mock-up of it.
That's all they had.
That's all they have. They didn't actually have a live action working one. So they're currently looking for a manufacturer and a distributor for support. So essentially, this is a couple, well, I don't know how many people, but I envision a couple guys with a neat idea, and so they're marching forward, and now they're looking for someone to help them make it.
They need a bank, somebody to bankroll them. I am failing to come up with how this design has any benefit over just carrying a revolver.
There's a couple things I think that might show a little bit of a promise with that. The first part, because it is all enclosed, you don't have that problem with the revolver stuff, schmutz and stuff getting into the, and jamming up the cylinder. So, there could be that. Also, when you holster it, it's going to be a little bit slimmer, because with a traditional revolver, the grip is behind the cylinder. So the entire pistol is wider. With this one, the widest part's behind the grip.
I got you. Okay.
So it'd be a little slimmer. Now, after that, I don't think those. My personal opinion. I mean, I don't want to slam new ideas, new technology. I don't think those two things alone are going to make it. They're not going to make it worth it.
Watch this thing just come out of the gates, and it's the most popular thing, and just flying off the shelves and.
It's possible. This is one I would want to shoot to see, because when I see this, I see an incredibly high bore axis, because revolvers already have a high bore axis, and you pump it up a little bit more with the bolt. I just think this is going to shoot really weird.
I would also like to holster it and unholster it, and then do walk around and movement with it in the holster and see if it is that much different.
Yep.
Having that cylinder up on top of the holster and out of the way.
Yeah, especially
interesting.
Yeah, interesting is, I think that's where I'd file this one as well. Yep. It's just I saw it and I thought that's kind of neat, so thought I'd go ahead and share that one. Of course,
there it is. Okay.
There's a picture. There again, these are artist
renditions.
These are renditions. So
that's actually.
It looks a little cooler this way. I still, though. That does not look like it's going to be fast to load.
No, it doesn't at all.
So there's that. That's going to be a problem. You've got a lot of mechanical stuff going on to make this work. The more stuff, the more likely you're going to have a failure point.
Right. Yep.
So I still put this under the it's odd but neat.
I'd like to see what maybe some of our viewers will just tell us what you think, just from your first glance, if you think this is going to be a bust or a billionaire movement. So let us know in the comments.
Yep, let us know.
Interesting.
So move on to Kalashnikov USA. Now this one, okay, I put this one in here because I think it's great. But let's just talk about it.
Let's see what you got.
So it's the KR-101. It's an AK platform in 5.56. So that's cool. It's supposed to hit production in 2023. It's cold hammer forged barrel, 16.3 inch length, 7.3 pounds overall. Has a side rail for optics. Side folding stock. MSRP around $1,500. Here comes the catch, though. They announced this last year too. And I'm pretty sure I'm not positive, I think it was preliminarily announced the year before that too. Oh. They've been promising this thing. So this year is it's going to hit production for real in 2023.
Right. So, don't hold your breath.
Yeah, so we'll see. Other than that, 5.56, AK platform.
Left side charging handle possibilities.
They are also working on a left side charging handle. Now, this is more in general, so it could be applicable to this, but it could also be applicable to just AKs.
Okay.
So what they're doing is they're redesigning a bolt that will accept a charging handle on the left side and a new top cover rail that will work with that. Conceptually, cool.
Yeah.
Always been one of the big drawbacks with the AK platform is that right side only charging handle.
No southpaws allowed. So.
And even with people that shoot with the right side, you still got to do some weird, funky stuff. When you're manipulating magazines and stuff to be all tactical, it takes some gymnastics.
Yep.
So, but overall, MSRP is supposed to be around $1,500 on
That's
the
probably
KR101.
par for the course on those, isn't it?
Yeah, sadly.
1,500,
Yeah. I mean, I still remember the days when you could go get an AK for like
Right.
$200.
Yep.
But I'm old. So, moving on to Beretta.
Your favorite.
One of my favorites. And what Beretta's, they're coming out with several things. The one I kind of zeroed in on is they're coming out with what they call the 80X Cheetah. It's bringing back the classic 380, but refined and revised with all their modern technology. So it's kind of like a slightly smaller version of a Beretta 92, except it's in 380. And it's sleek design, enhanced features. Includes Vertex-style grip profile, the Extreme S double single trigger, so it's got a real nice smooth trigger. Skeletonized hammer, 13+1 round capacity, comes optics ready out of the box. So there again, Beretta, a little bit late to the optics game, but they're coming out with them now.
Good.
And this is coming out with that. It's 380. I think it's cool. It's Beretta, so they're not cheap. Suggested MSRP is $799.
Okay.
And it's in 380. Now they also have a bronze color. That one's more expensive. It's $999 MSRP.
Is that the one on the bottom of your?
Yeah. The bottom picture is the bronze.
It's a pretty cool look.
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, I like it. I like the concept. It's in 380, so a lot of people scoff at 380, but 380 was a military cartridge for a long time. So I mean,
good for the misses, right?
That or for the misters. I think this gun's cool. I mean, I want to try to get a hold of one, and so we'll see.
All right.
Moving on to Canik. So Canik is coming out with the Meat MC9, and basically how they presented it at SHOT is they've been waiting, to come out with this form factor of a pistol, getting all the feedback from all the users, from everyone else who's already made something like this. They've been gathering all this intel, so they're coming out with theirs to give the customer exactly what they've been asking for. And so this is a micro compact pistol. It's been in the works by Canik for 3 years, going through multiple internal and aesthetic changes. And so basically, 12 and 15 round magazines, finger extension magazine base plate, let's see, 3.18 inch barrel, unloaded weight of 21.2 ounces, overall length of 6.1 inches, and a width of just 1.12 inches, so it's slim. It's 4.52 inches high.
That's impressive. I like that they did the 12 and 15 round mags.
12 and 15 round mags.
And the size, as you said, 3.1.
3.1 inch barrel. And
yeah, that's the same size as my Springfield XD, which has an 7+1 magazine, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So they're double stacking on this.
Yep.
I like that. I like that feature.
Yeah. Overall, I think it's. I like it overall. I think they're a little bit late.
Late to the game.
Late to the game. Yep. But it does come with optics cut, so basically it's just going to give people another option. Now the good thing is, price-wise, MSRP is $439.99.
Nice. Yeah.
So, and of course, street prices are always less than MSRP. So it's going to be it's got different size back straps, and it will be initially offered in black, FDE, and two-tone. So overall, not bad.
I like it. Good price point.
Yep. Alrighty, moving on to EOTech. Now, EOTech, everyone's familiar with their sighting systems, and of course they make other stuff as well, and this is their new entry. This is what they call their OGL, or on-gun laser, and this is, if you're familiar with Steiner and the D-ball at all, so this is it's a slaved IR invisible laser. So what that means, for anyone who's not sure, wherever the visible laser is aimed to, then the IR laser will be aimed to it as well, so that when you go to sight it in, you just sight in the visible laser because you can see it, and then when it's time to go lights off, you switch it to IR and you're still sighted in.
Yep.
You're already zeroed in, and it also has an IR illuminator with a variable zoom to go from almost a pinpoint to a flood on the IR illumination. So just like the Steiner D-Ball A3, it's just this is their version of it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't there's a need for this in the market right now that is civilian accessible? Correct.
Yes.
I've seen some chatter on chat rooms and on the interwebs that what's available to civilians right now in the IR laser illuminators is garbage, and that the products that they make for airsoft in the same IR are just as good and cost 1/5 as much as what's made for actual AR platforms. And is that
that is absolutely true on all counts.
Is it? Okay.
And it's even going to be true with this. This is initially this is going to be, I like how they put this, as low as $21.99. So this is not cheap. This is actually more expensive than the Steiner version.
For that price tag, it better
perform. And I think it probably will. But here comes the second part. Well, let's read through the stats first.
Okay.
All aluminum housing, about the same size as a deck of cards.
Okay.
Enhanced ergonomics, shared optical bench for the visible. It's visible green, by the way, and IR aiming lasers. Illuminator variable beam divergence, 5 MRADs to 115 MRADs. 0.2 MRAD windage and elevation adjustments, 50 MRADs total. It's got standard PTT receptacles for your switches and stuff if you need remote switches. And it comes with a mod button light 7-inch switch is included. It has tethered protective caps and pattern generators. So far, it's all the stats basically of a Steiner D-Ball A3. It just costs a little bit more. Now, it is EOTech. There is a good chance that it might end up being a little bit better than Steiner.
Fair.
Now, here comes the rub, though, to your point you just made earlier. It's going to come in standard military and law enforcement power for military and law enforcement sales. Civilian sales with a downgraded lasers.
Little foreshadowing there.
Later.
Good. What's the battery life on one of these?
I don't know. They didn't give any details on it. Battery life on these, there again, it depends on what all you have on. If you run an illuminator and lasers and everything, battery life is not super stellar.
Okay.
You're talking hours.
And does it have its own battery, or is it something standard off the shelf?
This is a off-the-shelf battery.
Okay.
So I mean, lots of good things, but to your point, by the time it comes down to us mere mortal civilians, it's still going to be the neutered version.
Yeah.
And for anyone who's not sure the difference on that, it's huge. The visible laser is pretty much kind of the same. The IR is where it's drastically different. And a lot of that gets into just the different safety classifications. They don't want to sell us civilians IR lasers that we're going to accidentally burn out our eyes or someone else's eyes.
Ugh.
The military goes bump in the night. Okay, well, if you burn out your enemy's eyes, well, you're going to shoot them anyway. So they don't worry about it as much. That's why they have the dual power settings on the military. You've got your low power, then you got your full let's go play mode. And to your point, the airsoft ones that are out there, a lot of them, because they're not regulated as firearm devices, a lot of times they're not legal necessarily, the output that's coming on them, but they kind of come in through because they're
back channel toys.
They have actually military level IR outputs. Now, the drawback with that is they're not military hardened, so they're not going to be as durable.
They're not going to take as many.
They're not going to take nearly as much abuse.
Yep.
Probably won't be, if you do a swim-in insertion with a airsoft laser, it might not actually go and be a laser when you need it to.
Right.
Now, with all that being said, we actually do have some of those airsoft ones that we're going to test on some upcoming videos. So they're actually behind you right here. So we went ahead and got that, and we'll put it up against the civilian D-Ball A3 to kind of compare them. These are actually the airsoft A3 clones. So it'd be kind of curious to see how that pans out. So moving on, Taurus, another favorite of mine. They're coming out with a couple new things. First, they've got their Taurus TX22, and you might be saying, well, they've already came out with that. But this is the compact one, which actually I think is pretty cool.
It does look sharp.
The Taurus TX22 has been adopted by a lot of people as a concealed carry gun. I don't necessarily, promote a 22 long rifle for concealed carry just because of reliability issues with 22, and it would be like the minimum level caliber you could, really conceive of to use for defensive shooting. However, I don't want to get shot by one.
Heck no.
So, and now you got the compact version. It's optics ready. So it's actually pretty cool. Let's see what we got here. 13 round staggered column magazine. Fixed white dot sights, drift adjustable serrated rear. Comes with 2 magazines. It's single action only. It's $469.99 MSRP. That's with the Riton optic, without the built-in optic. So just optic plate, but no optic included. It's $399.99. So pretty cool.
What optic do they give with it?
It's called the Riton optic. I'm not really
Have you
familiar
ever heard
with
of
it.
them?
No, I'm not
So
familiar with
they're bumping at what, 50, 40?
$70.
$70? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from what I can see in the pics, like I said, I don't have any direct experience with them, so I don't know how well they are. Since Taurus is putting it on the gun, it's probably fairly reasonable. But there again, $70 optic. So.
Right.
And also from Taurus, they're coming out with the Taurus Defender 856, 38 special plus P stainless steel or in matte black, 3-inch barrel, 7.5 inch overall length, 4.8 inches high, 1.4 inches wide, 23.5 ounces weight, optics ready revolver.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but the only thing different than everything else that Taurus has ever put out there with revolvers is it's optic ready.
Yes,
There
but
it
this
is.
would
Okay.
be essentially the first from the factory optics ready pistol.
That's unique.
Yeah, so it's kind of neat. Personally, I love revolvers, and I like optics. I still think this looks goofy.
I do too. I do too.
So
I don't see how that ergonomically is going to work with. Maybe it's just because it looks weird and we're just not used to it yet. Maybe we need some repetition.
that
of
could
seeing
be.
it, but it just looks goofy to me.
It does look a little goofy, and there again, this would go with the Western steampunk
There you
vibe
go.
for the lever action revolver. So
There you
we're
go.
putting all things to partner with that. We're gonna have to get one of those
That is a
rifles.
theme.
But so kind of neat.
A little different.
So we'll see how well the market, how much the market really takes off with this. So
They don't actually ship it with the Holosun, do they?
no,
They
no.
just have the plates that are
Right, it's
compatible with the Holosun K.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the optics plate is compatible with Holosun K footprint, so your Holosuns will work on there. Anything else that uses that footprint.
Fair.
So overall, pretty neat. MSRP. Oh, I didn't cover that part, did I? It's $450.99 for the black matte, or $470.99 for the stainless steel. So other than that, it's basically a 357. It comes in both. They have the 605 Toro. I actually kind of skipped ahead here. They have the 856 Toro, which is 38 special only, and the 605 Toro, which is the 357.
I got you.
So,
Both models available in the stainless
yes,
and
both
black matte.
stainless and black matte. These are basically the same 605 and 856 that they already make, except now it's got, this one has
Optics plate.
the optics plate.
Maybe. I'll put that in the maybe.
Yeah, I'd go with that. Palmetto State Armory. Now, I find this one neat. Now, this one, there's a whole drama story behind it, which I'm not going to really go into right now. But they're coming out with the STG 44, or the Sturmgewehr 44, considered to be the first assault rifle.
Kind of reminds me of the saw.
Well, kind of.
A little bit.
But this was kind of during the end of World War II. This was one of the German secret weapons that they started to develop and roll out just in the nick of too late.
Nick, too late.
So there's been a lot of modern weapon systems that got their base from this firearm. And now, of course, those are fully automatic machine guns. You know, there's not very many of them, and they're horribly expensive, but they're really, really cool.
Is it produced in America?
And this is going to be produced in America. It's not a machine gun. It's a semi-automatic version.
So we can thank Operation Paperclip?
Well, yeah, I suppose.
Is that where we got this from?
Yeah, so they've just, for a purist, this is going to be about as close as you can get to the original. The magazines are not the original, but they're made to look like it, and then there's different inserts in the magazine for the different calibers, which is another cool thing. This was originally, the original Sturmgewehr, STG-44, was in 8mm Kurz, which was an 8mm short cartridge.
Huh.
This is going to also be available in 8mm Kurz, which is kind of odd because that ammunition is very hard to get. No one makes it really, and
Never heard of it.
And it's only old surplus stuff. It's like stupid expensive.
Oh,
But it's also going to come in 5.56,
nice,
300 blackout,
nice.
and 7.62 by 39.
That's good work.
Which basically 8mm Kurz is essentially the precursor to 7.62 by 39.
Good
It's
work,
a little bit
Palmetto.
straighter. Yeah.
Good
Now,
work.
they also kind of alluded to the fact that they might be coming out with their own line of 8mm Kurz ammo.
There you go.
So
That
it kind of
took care of
makes
that
a little
problem
bit,
right there.
yeah, it takes a little bit more sense into why they're chambering it in that.
Now let me guess, just from the outside looking in, what the price tag. Do you have a price tag on this?
Not a exact price tag, but what do you
I'm
think?
gonna guess this is a $2,500 gun.
Well, so we'll go back a little bit. I talked about that drama a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a company called Hill and Mack Gun Works, and they've been working on coming out with this gun, the STG-44, for several years now. There's been all kinds of litigation and lawsuits. This person said this person said this. These are my receivers. No, because they were built on like rebuild kits.
Okay.
Huge drama, and everything kind of fell apart. The lawsuit and stuff all got resolved, and then PSA kind of swooped in, partnered with the Hill and Mack Gun Works to come out, and now they've labeled it. It's going to be a PSA gun. Now, there's been people that already have paid for the Hill and Mack Gun Works version of the gun.
Yeah.
And apparently those are going to be the first orders that are fulfilled. They're going to be produced under the Hill and Mack Gun Works name.
Okay.
And once all those orders are fulfilled, then the branding will switch over to the Palmetto State Armory, and then they'll come out to the general public. They didn't have an exact MSRP, but it's going to be a little over $2,000.
Okay.
But you
wasn't
couldn't
too
pin them
far
down on exactly what it was going to end up being.
No, it looks stout.
It does. I think it's super cool.
Yeah.
Now, it's a heavy gun.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say we are into 12 pounds.
Well, I don't actually have the exact weight, but it's not that heavy. But
No?
it's around 8-ish, 8 to 9.
Okay.
So still heavy. If you pick up an 8 or 9 pound rifle,
You feel it.
You feel it.
Yeah.
Now, with all that being said, practical purpose or practical utilization, or is there a reason for this to exist? No. It's just neat.
Yeah. It's got a little nostalgia to it too.
Yep.
So I mean, there's some value putting something out like this to the public, just to grab some of that. I remember when I was young.
Yep.
Some of the old timers are gonna gobble this up. So.
Yeah, and there's some modern technology that's been built into it. It has an adjustable gas block.
Almost seems like it should have one of them.
Like a carry
rudimentary carry handle on it.
Yeah, it does. It's kind of got that HK-ish look to it.
Yeah, the back end of the receiver there.
Which, interesting story, in case people were wondering. The engineers that were working on this for the Germans ended up going to Argentina and Spain. And then they developed what's called the SETME, roller delayed blowback action, based a lot on the work from here. And then HK bought the rights to that and created the HK91 and the G3 and all that series of firearms. So this is kind of the great granddad of all of those guns. That's why there's a similar kind of look. And there again, it's just cool. Now, apparently, PSA is going to be coming out with a complete line of what they're calling, I think, the Battleground line or Battlefront. So they have some other World War II type guns that they're going to be reproducing and making. So
Very cool. I like that one. Thumbs up.
So now we're going to go to Bond Arms. And another lever action.
Love it.
So I think this is cool too. In this case though, this is a lever action AR. It uses standard AR uppers. It uses Remington 870 stocks.
There it is.
Which I find a little odd, but then when you think about it, okay, it's a lever action. A regular buffer tube, stuff like that, that's going to make it like super awkward.
Right.
So it needs that downward comb,
Yep.
shotgun type stock. So they just decided, okay, just use Remington 870 stocks. And there's all kinds of tactical stocks and stuff already that exist for it. So go and use that. Standard AR uppers. Now you do have to disable the gas system because it's lever action. There's no gas system. Standard
I would assume
magazines.
that comes already factory disabled, right?
Well, this will come as a full rifle. So yes, it'll come factory setup, ready to go for this. But you could slap on really any upper, AR upper, that will work on it. You just need to disable the gas. But this engages the regular bolt and stuff that's in there.
Gotcha.
So it's actually, I think it's neat.
I do too.
So
Yet another unique look into something new. So
Yep.
I like it.
they're getting expected late 2023. MSRP has not been finalized yet, but they're targeting around $1,500. So you're paying a premium level AR price for a semi-automatic AR. Now, if you live in a state that doesn't allow semi-automatic, ARs, this might be an answer for you.
End around. I like
So,
it.
Now, flip side, a lot of times those states also don't allow magazine-fed rifles either. But kind of interesting. This would be kind of like the high-power rifle version of the steampunk western theme.
There you go.
So,
Love it.
okay, moving on to Keltec. Keltec. Everyone remembers Keltec. They're the ones that come up with all this really neat stuff. A lot of people make fun of the company because their guns, they have a distinct look.
Phasers.
Yeah. Everyone sees, oh, that's a Keltec. Well, yeah, but they just come out with neat stuff. They came out with the KSG several years ago, and now they're coming out with what they call the KSG 410. So it's a 410 chambered KSG. This makes it much lighter, very slim. It's just, okay, it's adorable, quite honestly.
All right, we're gonna have to break for a second.
Uses the same fiber optic system as their KS7. So if it looks kind of like a KS7, that would be why. Dimensionally, size-wise and weight-wise, it's not much different than the KS7. Right. It's still dual tube, single barrel. So it still has the with 3-inch shells, 5 + 5 + 1 capacity, or 11 rounds. With the 2 3/4 shells, it's just like the KSG. You got the 14 + 1 capacity in there, so 15 rounds. MSRP is $495, so quite a bit less than the KSG. I think it's really cool, and the fact it's in 410 is going to make it a fairly pleasant shooting firearm too. It's not going to break your shoulder like the KS7 does. Then we got another quick picture here of the KSG 410. I just think that's a neat looking gun. It's going to offer a lot of capability. You're still talking 410 shells, but with 410, you got slugs, you got shot, or you got buckshot. You're not talking 12 gauge power.
Fit into that groove of home defense easily.
Yes, easily home defense.
Because of its compact bullpup stature.
Yep.
Not going to have to be swinging a normal size shotgun through your hallways. You got something nice and tight that you can navigate. But no, I think there's a place for it. And like you said, with the 410, it just gives that ease of use for somebody that may not be very fond of the heavy recoil of a 12 gauge.
Yep, absolutely.
So I think it has a place. I think Keltec did a good job on marketing something that would fit this position in the market. So good on Keltec.
Yep.
I could pretty much guarantee Craig will own one of those in the next 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, this one
He'll
is
have one.
this one's cool. It's the Keltec R50, and essentially what they've done is they've put a longer barrel on their P50 and a stock. So it's a rifle version of the P50 pistol. It's just, I think it's neat. Now, I wasn't able to find a suggested retail price on it. Originally, I'd heard that they were going to be coming out as a kit with just the barrel and the stock, so you can convert your P50 to a rifle. But now it looks like they're just going to come out with a whole rifle itself. Kind of neat. There again, operates the exact same way as the P50, so it's got that whole flip top, and then you use the FN, up to the 50 round magazine that has the bullets like perpendicular sideways to the bore, which looks really bizarre, but it works really well, functions well. I just think this is neat looking.
The folding stock, is that a new thing for Keltec, or has that been used in other models?
This particular stock design is kind of new.
Okay.
The pistol was originally created with this in mind from the get-go.
Okay.
That's why those funky little grooves that you see right there, and kind of like the hand grip. Everyone thought that was like finger grips for like if you're going to go stormtrooper style shooting your P50. Those are in there because that's what the stock folds into, and it can fold right or left either way.
Oh, cool.
And then it's fully functionable, fully shootable with the stock folded, or you can pop it out and have the stock. So, kind of neat.
What's the price tag on that one, Craig?
Don't have a price for it yet, but I would assume having a little bit more material, a little bit more stuff to it than the P50, and knowing what the P50 runs, I'm going to assume probably around $1,200.
Okay.
So, alrighty, moving on to Henry. Henry's coming out with what they call the Homesteader. It's a 9mm ranch gun, semi-automatic, wood furniture. It's got a tang safety, interchangeable charging handle, so you can set it up for right or left hand use. Ejection, everything else is pretty much all just, the one side. It's blowback operated, not unusual for a 9mm rifle. Drilled and tapped for a top rail, half by 28 threaded barrel. It has interchangeable mag wells, so yes, it can take Glock mags.
Woo! Speaking to me, Henry.
And I just think it's cool. MSRP $928 with the standard mag well, or $956 if you go with one of the other options.
I'd order one today if they would have done a little bit more of a steampunk design, because I'm hooked on that baby.
Well, that steampunk.
I am. If they would have done this at the price point, what was the price point of the other one?
Oh, it was $1,500.
$1,500. I'm still probably buying the $1,500 one.
Yep. I think what this does, though, this kind of answers that. I don't know if you remember, when did they quit making that? In the 90s, I think. The ranch rifle, they made it in 45 and in 9mm.
Okay.
And it was a magazine-fed little carbine. Similar lines with this, wood stock furniture and stuff. Kind of popular, but never really took off because it wasn't tactical. But this is perfect for the person who wants the utility of a 9mm magazine-fed rifle, but doesn't like the look of that. A lot of people do not like the tactical look.
That's true.
And this is your traditional, wood and steel. This would be an excellent choice for the person who, it's a ranch rifle.
Right.
So.
No, I like it. 2 thumbs up.
So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Release date scheduled for February of 2023. Like I said, MSRP of $928 or $956 if you get one of the other mag wells.
We all know that Henry makes only good. They don't make garbage.
No, their quality is very good,
top notch.
Yep.
So.
And I believe this will be the only 9mm rifle of any type that comes with wood furniture. So.
Very cool.
Moving on, Holosun. Holosun. Everyone's familiar with their red dots and things like that. They're coming out with what they call the DRS TH Pro and the DRS NV. NV is in night vision. So it's a night vision. It's a red dot with built-in night vision, or a red dot, the TH Pro is thermal.
Interesting. Is this the first on the market that has this capability?
Not the exact first. Steiner makes one.
Okay.
But this is a little different how they're executing it. This will run as just a regular red dot, or you can turn on the night vision or the thermal, depending on which model, and then you get a night vision or a thermal image. It's a digital night vision too, so you can actually use it during the daytime or subdued light. You're not going to burn out a bulb,
A tube. Yep.
or a tube rather. And you can then, if you want, especially with the thermal, you just close the lens cap, so you just get 100% thermal view, and then it's a pure thermal sight. And that's how the Steiner is. The Steiner is a pure thermal sight. This is actually a red dot with like a fusion overlay of the night vision or the thermal.
Is very cool.
So I think it is very cool.
I want to see one of these.
I
play with it.
They're really neat. Now they do sit up a little high.
It's a pretty big profile.
Yeah, because you've got the battery compartment is on the bottom. It uses 18650 batteries, so they're pretty beefy batteries. But you got a lot going on there. You got night vision and thermal stuff going. And then you got the thermal camera or the night vision camera sitting on top, and then so it makes it kind of high. But there again, this is a utility device. This isn't, this serves a very definite function. Utility-wise, I think it'd be great. Also, at least on the thermal, I'm not positive on the night vision one. You can actually, the thermal camera itself also has its own crosshairs on it. So you can turn the red dot off and turn that one on. So you could actually program this with 2 points of aim.
Huh. Very neat.
So
it sounds expensive to me, Craig.
Well, the thermal comes in 2 different flavors, depending on if there's a high definition or a low definition one. And the low definition is going to be around $1,600, so they're pricey. High definition is around $2,300, so there again.
Expecting more.
Yeah, so fairly pricey. So in the world of thermal optics, it's not that bad. No. Now the flip side of the coin is these are small thermals, so this isn't a reach out and touch someone like a thermal scope. This is still red dot range territory.
Okay.
So you're still talking close to, honestly, close range. Mid-range you'd be pushing it, long range, forget it. At least with the thermal part and the night vision as well. The night vision one comes in $1,000 range. But I mean, there's multiple reticles, digital zoom up to 8x, onboard video recording. There's lots of features. IP67 waterproof rated. Let's see, anything else here. The night vision has a built-in IR illuminator as well, so in total darkness conditions, you'll still have an image. So, I mean, there is some definite use to it, because quite honestly, like a red dot in pure dark, it doesn't do you much good. Unless you have a night vision scope you can couple with it. This puts it all in one package.
All in one package.
So, I thought it was kind of intriguing.
Absolutely. I think we'll see some of the other manufacturers copy this very quickly.
I believe so.
Very quickly.
So moving on, your favorite, High Point.
Yes, I've been waiting for this.
And this one, they kind of announced it before SHOT, so it's not necessarily a SHOT show release, but they were at SHOT with it. It's the model JXP10, and it's basically their 10 millimeter, so High Points that came out with 10 millimeter. There again, they're doing it the High Point way, so it's still direct, blowback operation. So it's got that big, heavy, beefy slide to keep it from killing you. Mm-hmm. Threaded barrel. It has all the design features of the YC9. So it's got that, the slide has a little bit better look to it. I mean, it looks a little trimmer. It's still a big, beefy slide, but 10-round magazine, Picatinny rail on the front. You're still going to have the same, you got to really mean it to shoot it, heavy trigger, because, operation, actual function-wise, still the same as they've always been.
Microdot plates? Or no?
It will be coming with their plate system that they're coming out with to hold red dots as well, yes.
So do we owe our viewers an apology about our prediction on the 9?
We do. We do. I was really hoping that they were going to announce something on the YC9 that it's coming out. Now, with that being said, they did do a couple interviews with some people, and they basically said that the YC9 is coming. What they're really focusing on is they're wanting to make sure that it functions 100%. So they're doing reliability testing. So to High Point's credit, they're not wanting to go ahead and rush something out there and then have it have all kinds of problems.
As we've seen with some of the other vendors that announce year after year after year and don't perform.
Yep.
So good on High Point.
Yep. So like I said, disappointed that they didn't come out and announce, and the YC9 will be out in February, because that's not the case.
Cannon.
Yep. Now, they did kind of say in that interview, and because everyone at SHOT Show was asking them this, so they were starting to basically say it's soon. They wouldn't, you couldn't pin them on a date. They just kept, it's soon, it's very soon. Their main showrunner, whatever you want to call it, the person there, he's basically said, I've put thousands of rounds, through them. We have them. The production lines are set up. The production's going to run concurrently with the regular High Point. So they're not going to have to shut down production to start the one. So the only thing holding them back, I'm taking them at their word on this, is that they're just wanting to make sure that they've got all the tuning and stuff done so that when they put it out there, I mean, I know everyone says we knock High Points a lot.
I love them.
But the reality is High Points, because they're a lower cost, lower tier firearm, they have more initial reliability hiccup issues. But once you do break them in, and everyone who watches this channel knows how I feel about break-in periods for firearms, but that's irrelevant. Once they're broken in, they do tend to just run and run and run. Yep. They're reliable. And so they're just wanting to make sure that when the YC9 is released, it has that same reputation. It's the same thing. They don't want to release something that looks a lot prettier and then just doesn't work.
You got to respect that.
You got to respect that.
Yep.
So, moving on. BRG USA. Now, did you shoot the BRG9?
No.
Okay.
I have not.
We need to get you out and get you some trigger time.
This is one of your faves, isn't it?
Yeah, I really like the BRG9. It comes with a lot of value for the money. Well, they're now coming out with their Gen 2 of the BRG9 Elite. It's the BRG9 Elite Gen 2. It's optic ready, so it's got the optics plates type system. Enhanced grip pattern, 18-round magazines, ambidextrous slide release. The stylization is bolder. And then all the things that they had before. It's got the ergonomic grip safety, 7075 T6 aluminum rear slide plate, slide 4-inch barrel, dual heat treated 4340 forged steel, grip and trigger safeties. I mean, lots of features. It's charged striker indicator, high visibility sights, dovetail front and rear, 5-pound flat face trigger, ambidextrous magazine release, different back straps so you can custom fit it to your hand. It comes with a case with 2 magazines, a loader, a full cleaning kit. I mean, a lot of value for the money. The BRG9 Elite Gen 2 retail price MSRP $349.
Wow.
So it's a ton of value for the money.
What classification is it in as far as size? Is it a standard carry? Or
yeah, it's a standard carry.
It's above the micro carries?
Yes. Okay. It's a full-size pistol. Think Glock.
Okay.
Full-size Glock.
Okay.
They shoot really nice. I love mine. And like I said, value for the money, it's just, wow.
Phenomenal. Yep.
But next, they're also coming out with what they call the BRG9 Tactical.
Effin' look, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
It has an effin' look to it.
So it's optic ready, match grade trigger, 3.5 pounds.
Okay.
Enhanced ergonomic grip pattern, includes 3 magazines, 2 18-round and 1 20.
Shown here.
Ambidextrous slide release, all the other stuff. It's got a threaded barrel, ported slide for weight reduction, and also theoretically, it's pretty much just for weight reduction. It's got taller sights for co-witnessing, slide and barrel, heat treated, all that kind of stuff. Everything else is pretty much the same.
Those are some pretty pronounced sights.
Yeah.
If that's what I'm looking at right
yep.
there.
And they're made to co-witness with either a red dot, or if you're running a can on it, be able to have the sights high enough to be able to see over the can.
Okay.
So there again, MSRP $499.99.
I like that one. I like that one a lot.
So I'm reaching out at my friends over at BRG. I'm gonna hopefully try to get one of these.
That's on my short list. So. Tell them if they give you one, I'll buy one right now. right now. I like it.
But I think it's cool. I really like it, and the value for money equation is just, it's off the charts.
Fantastic.
And let's see what we got here. One more. I know you like the Swamp Fox.
Well, the jury's still out. I bought one.
Okay, so you haven't.
I've screwed around with it as far as just dry fire and screwing around at the house,
Okay.
eyesight relief and all that. But so far, I like it.
Okay, so we need to put it through its paces still.
Yes, we do.
Before we really give you A. I've heard good things about them, but I haven't had any real practical experience. But they've announced some new stuff at SHOT.
Let's see what they got.
And the first one is what they're calling the Swamp Fox Raider. And this is the only one I'm actually going to really cover. The other ones, they got some LPVOs and some other stuff coming out. But this is the one that's kind of exciting. So it's a prism optic, 1x power, so no magnification, it's just a prism optic. So it's like a red dot, except it's not a red dot. So even if the power goes off, you still see the reticle and stuff still there. It'd just be black instead of being illuminated. And it's just, I think it looks cool. It basically, what do we got here? It's a 1x micro prism, die-cast zinc alloy body, titanium mounting bolts, shake-awake technology, 15,000 hour battery life.
Nice.
So basically, you put it on there, you're good for several years. 10 illumination settings, with some of them night vision compatible. It's got an adjustable diopter, so you can adjust it to your eyes for those of us like myself who, need that assistance. MSRP $279.
Very nice.
Which for a prism optic with those capabilities, that's pretty good. It's an April 2023 release date. This is one I want to get a hold of and try out. I think
100%.
I think it looks good.
I like the bulky adjusters. Help me with the term.
Oh yeah, just your windage and elevation adjustment.
Windage elevations adjusters. I think that's it's kind of old school, but I like that.
Yep, and also I don't have a picture of it showing it. The caps can come off. It comes with front and rear lens covers. You can take them off and snap them onto the side on the battery cover. It makes it stick out kind of weird, but it houses everything on board. There's a place for it, and they won't be flopping around. A lot of them will have flip-up covers, stuff like that.
Don't have to throw them in your pocket.
Don't have to throw them in your pocket.
And then wonder where you put them. And,
yep.
No, I like it. Good looking out.
So overall, I think it looks pretty good. So we'll have to get one and try it out.
This one's on the short list too, isn't it?
Yep.
The Swamp Fox.
So that's pretty much it. I mean, there was a lot more, obviously, that was released and announced at SHOT Show, but these were the items that kind of, okay, this is going to sound goofy when I say it, kind of spoke to me.
No,
that I found an interest in.
Kudos to you. I think that you had a wide array of varying subject matter. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of unique things. Maybe some on the weirder side of reality. But I think all in all, great job, man. Well done.
Yeah, like every year, they announce so much cool stuff, and there's just all the stuff now, and some of it is released. I mean, some of the stuff they talk about, it's available right now.
Right.
Most of it is future, and every once in a while, it's announced, and it's like, oh yeah, it's going to be here, and then it's never.
Right.
I mean, going back to PSA, they're making the SDG-44. I'm still waiting for their MP5.
Right.
They promised that, 5 years ago, and then for several years they were always at SHOT Show. Oh, it's coming! We're just about ready to release it. I haven't even heard anything more about it now, so I'm assuming that the PSA MP5 is just vaporware. It's never going to
dead.
It's dead.
I think I hope that we gave you some good research information so that you can start writing up your wish list, and maybe some of the information that Craig divulged to you is going to be beneficial for your to where you spend your hard-earned money. So that's kind of the goal of this whole thing. So.
Yep. Yeah, now that you've got your list of stuff, the things that kind of spoke to you and you think you might want to have, and an idea of the cost, you know how much money you have to start banking on.
There you go.
Kind of get your Christmas list ready.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
So I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap up there. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Random Shots. And as always, we appreciate your comments and feedback. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you like this type of just material, go ahead and please subscribe. Share it with your friends.
Absolutely
helps. So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up there. So until next time, stay safe.
Take care, guys.